So why is the event themed around Memento Mori? No one asked me. I asked 9-10 people to speak, but no one thought to ask. I would love to say that it's because I'm fascinated by the Western tradition of Memento Moris as we think about them as artworks or church sculptures, but that would be a lie, too fancy for my kind of thinking. I would like to say it is some fake corporate engagement with the Mexican Day of the Dead that's come over into our country in the last few years, or even the more fake American engagement with Halloween and stuff like that. Again, a lie. Didn't think that deeply about it. A few years ago, I got a commission actually to go to Mexico on the Day of the Dead and had my face painted, as they do as a skeleton, and did lots of performances back in England with my face painted as a skeleton, because I felt that it did represent my kind of basic internal menace. But some people do perceive me as a kind of death figure. I don't seem to have the doubt that they have, and I don't, but it's not for that reason either. I've always been fascinated with the idea of death confronting us in an ethical way, for the obvious reason that it's the only thing that actually all unites us. Some of us are good, some of us are bad, but we will all die. That's lovely. But not really that either. Or the idea, if we consider our mortality and we understand that we can only enjoy things because they're transitory and not trying to keep them still because we're always aging, and the best that you can hope for in your entire life is, as you age, that you aren't completely alone and suffering the whole time. That's the best you can do before you die. And that should make you appreciate every moment. It's not that either. It's because I have nearly died often. Some of you in the room will know this. Maybe that is my decision. I certainly used to like to do a lot of things that brought me very close to death. Not so much anymore. I teach at Kingston University. Very cheap. Very cheap. But I did used to do lots of things that had me nearly die. And some of them were death drivey, and others were accidents. So I'm going to tell you about 3 that were not my choice, okay? Just 3. Very quickly, times I nearly died. And one of them's a lie. So the first one I'll tell you about. I was 14. I lived by Exmouth Estuary down in Devon. Very bourgeois, boring, didn't like it very much. Used to spend a lot of my time grumpy with earphones in, listening to new metal. Young people in the room, don't look up new metal. A terrible time in musical history. Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, or something like that in my ears, being grumpy, walking along, jumped over the hedge and the fence that connects the housing estate I was living in to the Exmouth Estuary, where the train line is, running between Exeter and Exmouth, and walked head down with earphones in, and a train went by my face. Didn't die though. Second one. I worked as a doorman for quite a long time in the beautiful city of Newcastle. And one of the other doormen on the door was a Rhodesian man, a massive South African sounding white man, also called Steve, who was incredibly aggressive and unpleasant and was involved with some drug dealers. Nothing to do with me. Someone one day came looking for Steve and asked the person at the front, "Where's Steve?" This person tried to stab me, and tried to stab me in the neck. Fortunately, the knife went into my collarbone and down, and just into my flesh, maybe a centimetre. Centimetre up would have gone into my throat, killed me for sure. That's the second one. Third one, I've wrestled since I was a child. I love wrestling. One of the things that happens a lot in wrestling is that you rub your body against mats that other human beings also rub their bodies on. And if you do wrestling enough and people don't clean the mats, infections spread on the mats. And you can pick up something called a staph. Has anyone heard of staph? Oh, staph. I got a staph infection on my left leg, which ate away the flesh and then caused a nervous system infection that put me into a semi-comatose state for about 2 weeks. And when I recovered, the doctors told me I very nearly died. Which one is a lie?
First one.
Train, yeah.
They're all lies. Speaking next will be Paul Booth.